Hi guys, welcome back. It's Crystal with Emerson Aurora Design, and today I'm going to show you how I'm going to add a tattoo to a dark tumbler. I call this tumbler Night Sky. This is a 30-ounce tumbler. I think it's called a Slurp tumbler from Stainless Depot, and I did ombre purple into navy blue into black with spray paint, and it is here on my turner. This is a redo on a tumbler that I stripped and respray painted. You can kind of see some little bumps and scrapes from when I removed the previous design, but that's no matter. This design is going to completely masquerade those spots and you won't even see them. I'm going to add this additive that I just kind of flashed across the screen. There it is. It is an ultra fine, highly reflective glitter. I purchased it on Amazon. It is for nails, but I wanted to try it on this tumbler. It's supposed to have a reflective look to it. And I'm using my quick set from the Glitter Craze resin. I'm using about 20 mLs of resin here, 10 of A and 10 of B mixed together really well. And I'm going to add that reflective glitter. And let me tell you guys, this really is gorgeous glitter. It came in these little tiny jars, but a little goes a long way with this. I just added that little bit that's on the end of my stir stick to this full 20 mLs of resin, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I just wanted it to look like stars in the sky, so I didn't want a huge coverage, but I was pretty impressed with this glitter. I can leave a link in the description box below. So I'm just going to start off with a thin layer of resin to cover everything and make it nice and smooth. And you can see that those scratches and bumps that were visible before on the tumbler from me scratching off the old resin disappeared under that new layer of resin. As long as you spray paint over it, it's perfectly fine. And look at how pretty that glitter is. You'll see better later. You can use any ultra fine glitter as an additive to your resin to make it look like stars. This has a screw-on top that is also stainless that I spray painted black, and I have it on the end of my wand here. I know it's kind of out of frame, so I apologize, but I'm just putting on a thin layer of the epoxy to that lid. It's taped to my wand, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it right on a turner, and that way it'll match my rest of my tumbler. I'm going to hit it with torch, pop those bubbles, and here's a close-up of how pretty that glitter is. It really does look like stars twinkling in the sky. So I'm going to let this cure 24 hours, and then we're going to head outside here. I have 3 different colors of spray paint. I have black, I have brilliant silver, and I have ultra matte white. It doesn't really matter if they're matte, flat, or glossy. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go with a layered look. I want it to kind of look like the bleached type tumblers. I want a little area that I can put my tattoo on. So I'm just going to kind of map it out with short, quick bursts here with my white spray paint. I'm holding that spray can kind of far back and just spraying in short bursts because I want to have that oval shape. Next I'm going to go in with some black and just really do this very lightly. I just want kind of the black splatter. I don't want coverage, if that makes sense. I'm going to layer these 3 paints over on each other, and that will have kind of almost like an ombre effect on the edges that I really like. This is the silver. and the silver will be on the top. And ultimately the silver will be at the top. I'm going to go back in with the white again and the black. Here's the black here. Just a little bit of the black and more white. And then back with the silver. And when I show you the up close of this, you'll see how pretty that looks, how it's kind of like ombre, and you can see the specks of the different colors. So this is completely dry. I'm not going to remove any of this spray paint. I really am happy with the way it turned out. And now I'm going to apply my tattoo. I have this really pretty owl mandala tattoo. I purchased it in a pack from Amazon. You can search for large temporary tattoos. I think I searched for owl tattoos. I really love owls, and I love this one. I think that the eyes are so intense and they're so pretty. So tattoos, you want to pull off that little cellophane, and once you stick this down, do not lift it back up. It will ruin it. So you're going to stick your tattoo face down and then take a paper towel that's doused in water and just gently wet the back of that tattoo, being careful not to let that paper slide because you don't want to tear your tattoo. And just keep wetting it and wetting it and wetting it until you feel like the image will release. Tattoos are so easy to put on your tumblers. If you make a mistake, they're easy to take off also. You just take it off with a little bit of rubbing alcohol and it should come right off, and then you can start again. Luckily, I aimed correctly on this one and it is completely centered in where I want it. And it is so striking against this silver backdrop. I'm really happy with the way this looks. And I think that it really matches the colors that I chose and the silver. I'm going to let that dry and just dab it gently because I don't want any big water droplets, but you want to be really careful. I mean, it really is more forgiving than a water slide can be. It won't move around once it's down. Just be gentle with patting it dry. And I'm going to flip this little guy over, and I want to add my moon image to the back. Moon phases. I looked up moon phases on my Cricut Design Space, and I found this really nice one that I like. I cut it out in this, I guess it's like a shimmer silver adhesive vinyl. I think it's a Cricut brand. I've used this before, and I knew that once I put epoxy over this, it actually loses that glitter look about it. And you'll see here in a minute, but I'm going to put this down. If it would stay the way that the vinyl looks right now, after I put epoxy on it, I would have kept it. But you're going to see here in a minute what I do with it. But I love this image. I think it fits with that owl so well. I am going to put a layer of epoxy to seal everything in place. And here it is after it's been epoxied and cured. Now you can see how that silver vinyl looks under the epoxy, and it's hard to get a really close look, but there's kind of like, it makes like a streak look about it, and I don't like it. So I'm gonna use my Diamond Series Silver and use some Tack It over and over and go ahead and cover that. You can see how pretty that tattoo turned out. So I'm going to take a paintbrush and I'm going to apply my Aleene's Tack It over and over, right over the image of the moon with a fine brush. You're essentially going to paint over your decal. Now this does have a layer of epoxy on it, so if I make a mistake, it's okay. You can just wipe it right off. That's the beauty of putting that layer of epoxy down to protect the previous work so you don't have to strip your whole cup. I'm a big proponent of putting a layer of epoxy on, letting it cure before I add paint or glitter or glue. It's just so much easier to start over if you make a mistake. If you hear chewing, that's my dog. she's having her dinner. So I'm doing my best to really follow the lines and not get outside of the lines. I really want this silver to have more of a pop to it. Like I said, I don't really like this vinyl, but it's the only silver that I had that matched the spray paint. So that's why I'm kind of adding a little bit of bling bling to it, and that's okay. I love glitter anyway. This is probably the least glittered tumbler that I make because that reflective glitter is such a subtle sparkle that I absolutely love, and I just needed to add a little bit more glitter to this. So just go ahead and paint on a thin layer. This is going to dry. You want it to dry completely. It will become tacky as it dries if you've never used Tack-It, and it dries clear. So if you happen to make a mistake and go over your outline of the moon with your paintbrush, once it dries, you can go in and you can wipe it off easily with a paper towel while it's wet. That's probably the easiest. But if you go over and it is dry, yes, the glitter will stick to it, but you can always take a little popsicle stick and scratch it off. See there that I'm wiping it off while it's wet, but later it kind of goes over and the glitter sticks to it. You just take a little popsicle stick, like the edge of it, and scratch it off. Like I said, this has a layer of epoxy under it, so it comes off really easily. And you can clean those edges up very nicely. So I'm going to let that dry completely, and you'll see that it'll be clear when it's dry. So my Tack-It's dry, and now it's time to add the glitter. This is Diamond Series Silver by the Glitter Craze. It's an ultra fine silver, and it has like a holographic shift to it. It's really pretty. So you sprinkle your glitter on, and the beauty of Tack-It is that you can take your finger and kind of lay the glitter down flat, and it'll stick right to that Tack-It. It's pretty satisfying. So I'm just going to take my little chip brush and brush that off. I'll give you a closer look here in just a few minutes once it's finished. Once I'm finished doing my glitter and cleaning up my edges, like I said, you could take a popsicle stick and kind of scratch around the edges to make sure that they're nice and clean and sharp. I'm going to seal my glitter with some matte clear spray paint, and then stick it on my turner and put 1 to 2 more layers of epoxy over the complete tumbler until it is nice and smooth. Once it's done, I will take my X-Acto blade, clean the rim, and wash my tumbler, and it will be all done. This tumbler is so pretty and so much fun to make. You can see there on the round part, the main part, the glue did come off there a little bit. So I'm using my nail. It doesn't really work, so I go back in and clean it up a little bit here in a few minutes, but I'm going to put this on my turner when I'm all finished. And here she is all finished. You can see that pretty holographic silver really adds to that moon phase. And that reflective glitter, my gosh, guys, what do you think about this? And his beautiful eyes will bore into your soul and say, "Take me home." I love my owl glitter, my owl tumbler. Thank you so much for watching my video. I appreciate the time you took to watch it. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and give me a comment below. And give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider subscribing so that you can see all my videos that I have coming up and my past videos. Everybody, have a happy, happy crafting day.